Be me, 28F, Senior Brand Strategist at Aura and Echo, a boutique creative agency in Seattle. Office is located in Capitol Hill. Salary is $92,000 a year. Perks include unlimited PTO that we're discouraged from taking, a meditation pod, and kombucha on tap. I spend maybe 2 hours a day doing actual work. The rest is spent ideating, which basically means scrolling TikTok for trends, drinking oat milk lattes, and gossiping on Slack. I am the queen bee of the strategy department. My inner circle is the coven. Naomi, 26F, social media lead. Maria, 24F, junior copywriter. We run this place. Not because we bring in revenue, but because we control the culture. We decide who is problematic and who is an ally. Our boss is Linda, 52F, VP of Operations, exhausted, just wants to make it to retirement without a lawsuit. She is terrified of us. She knows one wrong pronoun or one microaggression and will drag her in the anonymous engagement survey. Life is good. Summer hits. Intern season. Usually, we get a fresh batch of communications majors from UW. Ashley, Kaylee, Madison. Bright-eyed girls who want to be girl bosses, just like us. We use them as personal assistants. They fetch our sweet green salads, organize our Pinterest boards, and we pay them in exposure and mentorship. It's a perfect ecosystem. Until this year. HR manager. Karen, literal name, 40s, hates joy, calls a mandatory team sync. We're diversifying our talent pipeline, she says, reading off a script. We need to pivot towards data-driven insights. So we've hired from the computer science department this year. I exchange a look with Naomi. We communicate telepathically. Gross. Enter the new intern, Ethan. 21M, walks in like he's entering a dungeon raid. Wearing a faded black hoodie that says Rust. I assume the metal. Turns out it's a coding language. Baggy jeans that have never seen a tailor. Bulky New Balance sneakers that are grey on grey. Carrying a backpack that looks like it contains his entire worldly possessions. He is the antithesis of our aesthetic. He doesn't smile. He doesn't perform the social niceties. He just stands there, hands in pockets. Hi, he says. I'm Ethan. I'm here for the back-end analytics role. Voice is deep, flat, monotone. No rising inflection, no enthusiasm. Red flag immediately. I decide to assert dominance. Hi, Ethan. I'm the senior strategist here. We usually start with a vibe check. What's your Enneagram type? He blinks, slowly, like a lizard processing a fly. I don't know what that is. Naomi gasps audibly. Okay, I say, forcing a smile that hurts my face. Well, we're big on emotional intelligence here, so just try to keep your energy open, yeah? Sure, he says. Where is the server access point? I point to the corner desk, the exile desk near the printer. He walks over, sits down, and pulls out a laptop. It's not a MacBook. It's a thick, black brick of a machine, covered in stickers of penguins and obscure logos. He opens it and immediately starts typing. Clack, 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 clack. It's loud. Mechanical keyboard, blue switches. In an open-plan office, the sound cuts through the ambient lo-fi hip-hop playlist like gunfire. I open our private Slack channel, Project Slayer. Me. OMG, the noise. I am physically recoiling. Naomi. He's manspreading into the auditory space. It's aggressive. Maria. He looks like he moderates a Discord server. I feel unsafe. Day 3. Ethan is a ghost who makes noise. He arrives at 8 a.m. Who does that? We roll in at 9:45. He leaves at 6 p.m. He doesn't join us for lunch. We go to the artisanal taco truck or the poke bowl place. He eats a sandwich at his desk, wrapped in foil, looks like bologna. He wears large, noise-cancelling headphones over his hoodie hood. He has set up 3 monitors. I decide to intervene. It's my duty as a leader to correct his culture fit. I walk over, holding my matcha latte like a scepter. Tap him on the shoulder. He doesn't feel it. Tap harder. He jumps, slides one ear cup off. Yeah? Hey buddy, I say, leaning on his desk, invading his space. We have a no headphones policy during collaboration hours, 10 to 4. I have AirPods in right now playing a murder podcast, but rules are for people who don't fit in. I need to concentrate, he says. The database schema is messy. I'm refactoring it. Right, but we prioritize connection over output here, I say, using my best HR voice. If you're siloed, you're not synergizing. We need you to be present. He stares at me. Eyes are dark, tired, unblinking. If I talk, I lose the flow state. It takes 20 minutes to get back into the code structure. Well, I laugh dismissively. Maybe you need to work on your multitasking. Soft skills are just as important as whatever this is. I gesture vaguely at his screen. It's SQL, he says. Gesundheit, I joke. He doesn't laugh. He just puts the headphone back on. Disrespect. Absolute disrespect. I march back to my desk, furious. Me. He literally just ignored me. He's refusing to integrate. It's toxic masculinity. He thinks his code is more important than our community. Maria. We should report him. He's disrupting the vibe. Naomi. Let's wait. Let him burn out. Nobody can work that hard for $15 an hour without cracking. He'll be crying in the wellness room by Friday. Week 2. The Eco-Lux crisis, Aura and Echo's biggest client, sustainable luxury athleisure brand, selling $120 yoga pants made of recycled water bottles to guilt-ridden rich women. They are threatening to walk. Linda calls an emergency all-hands meeting. She looks pale. They want a comprehensive audit, Linda says, voice trembling. They think our strategy is fluff. They want hard numbers. Engagement rates, conversion funnels, attribution models across all platforms for the last 24 months, cross-referenced with their inventory turnover. She looks at us, and they want it by the end of the month, or they fire us. Panic sets in. I look at the scope of work. Thousands of Instagram posts, TikTok trends, Shopify sales data, Google Analytics logs. Usually, we just fake this. We take screenshots of nice comments, put them in a Canva presentation with a pastel color palette, and say brand sentiment is soaring. But they want raw data. Excel sheets, pivot tables, math. I failed Algebra 2 in high school. I can't do this, Naomi whispers to me. My eyes literally cannot handle spreadsheets. I have astigmatism. It's a medical condition. I have to plan the summer solstice retreat, Maria says. That's critical for morale. I don't have bandwidth for data entry. I look around the room. My eyes land on the corner. Ethan. He's typing away, oblivious to the panic. A devious idea forms in my brain. The perfect solution. We can dump the grunt work on him. If he fails, which he will, because it's impossible, we blame the intern for being incompetent and buy ourselves more time. If he succeeds, impossible. We take the credit for managing him. I raise my hand. Linda, I say, projecting confidence. I have a solution. This is a great developmental opportunity for Ethan. He's here for data, right? Let's let him own the data collection. The strategy team, will handle the narrative interpretation. Linda looks at Ethan. Ethan, can you handle an audit of this size? Ethan looks up. How is the data stored? It's on their socials and their website, I say. You just have to go through and count it. Put it in a spreadsheet. He frowns. That's inefficient. Do we have API key? Don't complicate it with jargon, Ethan, I snap. Just do the work. Grind it out. Show us you have grit. He shrugs. Send me the credentials. Great. I clap my hands. Meeting adjourned. Let's get lunch, girls. I need a spicy marg. The setup. We send him the logins. It's a mountain of work. Tens of thousands of data points. We calculate it would take a human about 300 hours of manual copying and pasting to do what the client wants. He has 2 weeks. We assume he'll be working weekends, nights, sleeping under his desk. We're ready to mock him for being a corporate slave. Wednesday rolls around. We're in the break room making avocado toast, talking about how Pete Davidson is ugly hot. I walk past Ethan's desk to check on his misery. He's not typing furiously. He's leaning back in his chair, spinning a pen, watching text scroll automatically on his screen. He's reading a PDF book on his other monitor, Advanced Bayesian Statistics. I stop. Ethan, I say, voice sharp. Why aren't you working? The deadline is tight. I am working, he says. You're reading a book. The script is running. He points to the scrolling text. I wrote a scraper in Python. It's hitting their endpoints, pulling the JSON data, cleaning it, and dumping it into a local PostgreSQL database. It's doing about 50 records a second. I stare at him. My brain glosses over the technical words. All I hear is, I'm not suffering. So, you're letting the computer do it. That's the point of computers, he says. That feels lazy, I say, grasping for an angle. The client pays for human attention. They want us to really feel the data, to understand the texture of the engagement. You can't get that from a script. He looks at me like I'm a flat earther. Data doesn't have texture. It has values. And the script doesn't make typos. Humans do. You're missing the point, I huff. This is about craftsmanship. But whatever. If it's wrong, it's on you. I walk away. Me to the coven. He's cheating. He's using bots to do the work. It's going to be full of errors. I can't wait to watch him crash and burn in the client meeting. Naomi? Typical. Men always look for shortcuts. No work ethic. Over the next week, things get weird. Ethan is finished with the scraping in 2 days. He spends the rest of the time doing things we didn't ask for. He fixes the office Wi-Fi. Turns out it wasn't Mercury retrograde, it was a router configuration issue. He automates the coffee machine to start brewing at 7:55 a.m. He sets up a dashboard on his third monitor that tracks the sentiment of our internal Slack channels. I see a graph that spikes every time we gossip. It makes me paranoid. He's too efficient. It makes us look bad. I decide to sabotage him socially, start a whisper campaign. He makes me uncomfortable, I tell Linda during our one-on-one. He's so cold. He doesn't engage in the culture. I think he might be on the spectrum, which is fine, obviously, but he refuses to let us support him. It's creating a hostile vibe. Linda sighs. He's an intern, Sarah. He's leaving in a month. Just tolerate it. I'm just protecting the safe space we've built, I say, clutching my pearls. Meanwhile, the coven ramps up the pressure. We leave him out of the coffee runs. We play music he hates, loud hyperpop. We put fragile, toxic masculinity sticky notes on his monitor when he's in the bathroom. He never reacts. He just takes the notes off, balls them up, and throws them in the recycling. Not the trash, the recycling. Even his trash disposal is optimized. It's infuriating. We want a reaction. We want him to snap. We want him to prove us right, that he's an angry, volatile incel, but he's just a machine. Calm, steady, relentless. The Friday presentation. Deadline day. Client is flying in. This is huge. VP of Marketing for Ecolux is coming to the office. We set up the conference room. Fancy water, expensive pastries, mood lighting. I have my spiel ready. I'm going to talk about narrative arcs and emotional resonance for 20 minutes. Then I'll hand it to Ethan to show his little spreadsheet. And when the client asks tough questions, I'll step in and save him, showing my value as a manager. The meeting starts. Client, Ben, 45. Sharp suit. Looks like he fires people for sport. Sits at the head. Linda is nervous. I start my presentation. So Ben, I say, using my hands expressively, we really wanted to dive into the soul of the brand this quarter. We felt that the energy of the consumer was shifting towards a more grounded authenticity. Ben interrupts. That's great, Sarah. But I saw the sales report. Q2 was down 15%. I don't care about the soul. I care about the bleed. Where are we losing them? I freeze. Well, the vibes are shifting. The algorithm is tricky. Ben looks bored. Okay, show me the data audit. I gesture to Ethan. Ethan, our intern, helped compile the number. I emphasize intern to lower expectations. Ethan stands up. He doesn't have a PowerPoint. He plugs his thick laptop into the HDMI. I don't have a slide deck, he says. Ben frowns. What do you have? I built a live query engine, Ethan says. Screen lights up. It's beautiful. It's a 3D spinning globe showing where every sale came from in real time, charts that interact when you hover over them, predictive lines extending into the future. I scraped your entire digital footprint, Ethan says, voice steady. I found the bleed. He clicks a red spike on the graph. You're losing 40% of customers at the checkout page on mobile devices, but only on iOS. There's a rendering bug in your payment gateway that pushes the buy button off screen on the iPhones. Silence in the room. Dead silence. Ben leans forward. A bug? Our dev team said traffic was just low. Your dev team is looking at server logs, not client-side rendering, Ethan says. I patched it in a sandbox environment. Here's the difference. He toggles a switch. The graph jumps up. Fixing this recovers approximately $200,000 a month in lost revenue. Ben's jaw drops. You found a $2.4 million error? In an audit? I also analyzed your influencer spend, Ethan continues, ignoring the praise. You're paying these 3 micro-influencers $5,000 a post. He pulls up photos of girls who look exactly like me and Naomi. They have 90% fake followers. Bot farms in Vietnam. You're lighting money on fire. I wrote a script to flag fake engagement. You should cut them and redirect budget to search ads. I feel the blood drain from my face. Naomi kicks me under the table. He's attacking our business model. He's attacking us. Ben looks at me. Sarah, did you know we were paying for fake followers? Well, influence is hard to quantify, I stammer. It's about brand awareness. Even bots create Buzz? It sounds stupid as soon as I say it. Ben turns back to Ethan. Who are you again? Ethan. Intern. Not anymore, Ben says. Linda, I want this kid on the account full time. I want him leading the strategy. This isn't fluff. This is actionable. Linda nods, looking stunned but happy. Absolutely. We can make that happen. Ethan sits down, closes his laptop. Ben spends the next hour asking Ethan technical questions. I am invisible. I am furniture. I check my phone under the table. Slack from Naomi. I literally hate him. He's trying to make us look incompetent. Slack from me. He's a tryhard. It's pathetic. Who cares about a button on a website? We build the brand. But I know, deep down, we lost badly. The shift. Monday morning. I expect things to go back to normal. They don't. Ethan's desk is gone. He's been moved to an office with a door. Linda promotes him to Director of Analytics, skip-level promotion. He's making more money than me now. I check the org chart. He reports directly to Linda. I report to him? No. Wait. I refresh the page. My name isn't under him. My name is under review pending. I storm into Linda's office. Linda, we need to talk. This dynamic is unsustainable. Ethan is undermining my authority. He's taking over strategy meetings with his numbers. The creative spirit of the agency is dying. Linda looks up from her screen. She looks different, less tired, sharper. The creative spirit wasn't paying the bills, Sarah. We were in the red for 3 quarters. Ethan's insights just secured us a renewal and 2 new clients in 48 hours. So what? We're just a data factory now? What about the human touch? The human touch is expensive, Linda says coldly, and inefficient. Speaking of which, she picks up a folder. Ethan installed a productivity tracker on the network last week to optimize workflow. My stomach drops. That's spyware. It's standard corporate monitoring, and it revealed some interesting patterns. She opens the folder. You, Naomi, and Maria spent a combined 45 hours last week on websites unrelated to work. Sephora, Revolve, Twitter, Reddit. I was doing market research. You were taking which Gossip Girl character are you quizzes? Linda reads from the paper. And you spent 15 hours in a private Slack channel called Project Slayer mocking a coworker. She slides the paper across the desk. Printed logs of our chats. Every mean thing we said about Ethan, every joke about his clothes, every plan to sabotage him. This is harassment, Linda says. We were just venting. It's a stressful environment. It's a toxic environment, Linda corrects, and we're cleaning it up. You can't fire me, I say, voice rising. I'm a woman in leadership. This is retaliation. I'll sue. I'll go to the press. We're not firing you for being a woman, Linda says calmly. We're firing you for gross misconduct and time theft. We have the data. Ethan backed it all up. It's irrefutable. Ethan, I seethe. Of course. We're keeping the strategy department, Linda adds, but we're restructuring it. We hired 2 data scientists to work under Ethan. They start tomorrow. They're women, by the way. Women who know Python. Get out, she says. You have an hour to clear your desk. Security will escort you. I walk back to my desk. Naomi and Maria are already packing, crying, mascara running down their faces. They can't do this, Naomi sobs. I have a lease on a Tesla. I'm going to cancel them on TikTok, Maria screams. I have 4,000 followers. They will regret it. Everyone is watching us. The receptionists, the other teams. Nobody looks sad. Nobody looks sympathetic. They look relieved. We were the mean girls, and the school just expelled us. I grab my RBG action figure, my framed quote that says boss bitch. Put them in a cardboard box. I look towards the glass office. Ethan is there. He's standing at a whiteboard, drawing complex diagrams. He's talking to the 2 new hires. They are listening intently, taking notes. He looks normal. He's not a monster. He's not an incel. He's just a guy who did the work while I was busy pretending to work. He looks up through the glass, catches my eye. I want to flip him off. I want to scream. I want to break the glass, but I don't. I just freeze. He raises his hand, gives a small, awkward wave, not mocking, just dismissing, like closing a browser tab, like deleting a row in a database. He turns back to the whiteboard, erases something, writes a new equation. I am the error code, and he just debugged the system. Be me now. 4 months later, living in my parents' basement in Ohio, Seattle was too expensive with 0 income. I've applied to 200 jobs. Digital marketing, brand strategy, community manager. Every single interview goes the same way. Interviewer: this portfolio is great on vibes, but what's your technical stack? Do you know SQL? Tableau? Can you run Python scripts for automation? Me: I'm a quick learner. Interviewer: we're really looking for someone day one ready. We have a lot of data to process. They never call back. Naomi is working at a tanning salon. Maria is trying to be a full-time streamer. She has 12 viewers, mostly bots. I stalk Ethan's LinkedIn. It's the only time I feel anything. New update: promoted to Chief Technology Officer at Aura and Echo. Speaker at TEDx Seattle. The death of the vibe. Why data is the new empathy. Post has 50,000 likes. Comments are full of people praising him. So true. Efficiency is the highest form of respect. King behavior. I scroll down, see a comment from Linda. Proud to work with such a visionary leader. I close the laptop, stare at the ceiling. My mum yells from upstairs: Sarah, did you take the trash out? I'm doing it now, Mum. I scream back. Voice cracks. I put on my slippers, drag the heavy bag to the curb. It's raining. Cold, grey, Ohio rain. Not the romantic Seattle mist, just misery. I realize I spent my entire 20s building a personality around a job that didn't actually exist. I was paid to be cool, and now cool is worthless. Competence is the new currency, and I am broke. I look at the trash bag, see my boss mug sticking out of the top. Broken. Handle snapped off. I leave it there, walk back inside, open a browser tab, search Google. Python for Beginners tutorial free. It's probably too late, but what else do I have? My face when I got replaced by scripts I made fun of. My face when the patriarchy didn't defeat me. Competence did.